All right, welcome in to the Bobby Carpenter Show, and we got a great show for you today. So Wednesday, normally we have AJ on. He's got some lacrosse camp for the kids, so always stuff going on, always different things out and about that he's got to take care of. But he will be on instead tomorrow, as we've got the OSU golf outing, coaches outing tomorrow. So I'm going to be playing that, and so this will be a maiden voyage for Schlegg. So I can't wait to be able to watch a show led by Schlegg to see his level of awareness of wanting to get in and out of breaks, when to do the reads, and when to govern everything. It's going to be pretty remarkable. Since my man Schlegg's levels of awareness were amazing. Do we have any pants that are readily?
I was looking at the Doomajig.
Looking at the Doomajig.
Looking at the text messages. I was looking at the text messages like Bob. I'm like, okay.
Did we ever find any pants, Schleggs, that are acceptable to wear? Because full disclosure, last night, behind the curtain, Tress invited a bunch of his former players out to the governor's mansion to be able to have conversations about some things that are going on in the state. And the best part is we've got guys from all over the state, from, I believe Mike DeWine said, from Ripley to Reynoldsburg. We've got people from everywhere out there, all shapes, sizes, colors, and then guys who grew up in other states that now make Ohio their home, or guys that grew up in Ohio that have moved to other states that came back for this. So we had very diverse set talking about how we can improve the great state of Ohio and be able to make some great things. And so the dress was business casual. I don't know if there's ever an appropriate time if you're going to the governor's mansion to not have pants on. Everyone else had pants. Probably 80% were sport coats. My man Schleggs, though, he was rocking some shorts. And so he looked good in the back. And when Tress called on him, he got the final question in, or what was supposed to be the final question. It was simply a comment saying, how can we help and what can we do to support you? And the amount of people were like, man, Schleggs is here. And then I'm like, he's in the back because he's got shorts on. So he was hiding back there, but his calves were rocking out, and he didn't want to embarrass, anybody with just the size of those Goliaths. Oh, you're muted. Even better. Yeah. Oh, there we go. So it's always the best part about it is always a fun time.
There we go. This entire time. Can you hear me now?
I got you now.
You look at my hands?
I can see your hands. I can see your sweaty face too.
It's hot in the back cave at the Armory. There's no fans in here. So I just, and it's great because I had a great, we're going to go into the side nugget. Worked out with our friend today, Bob, Cade Stover, popped in.
Oh, yeah, former Buckeye Cade Stover.
So it was super cool. And there's a lot of good content here, but Cade bought a farm. I want to say he has like 65 head of cattle. And he's like, hey, I'm running a little behind. Like, this calf need to be addressed. I'm like, all right, cool. This is great. Because I'm running behind because I overslept my alarms. And we from driving distance from his farm to my farm, it's about the same. It's like in traffic, it's like 55 minutes to an hour. We met up at the same time. Cade was the OTA offensive player of OTAs, Bob.
Nice.
So I was like, awesome. And I'm like, well, how do you feel? He's like, dude, this is the best I've ever felt. I felt strong going in. I'm fast. He's like, this is the fastest I've ever ran. I'm like, great. And he's like, you're awesome. I was like, yes, thank you. But I was like, I also want to bring this to your attention. And Bob, you and I talk about it. And this is where I always go to coaches get a lot of credit, but you also got to take things in all of context. And I said, Cade, this is the first offseason that you actually have had in your entire life. Think about that. I was like, because when we talk about how your rookie year in the NFL is the longest year of your life, because it's really 2 years into like just one long continuous year. And I was like, so you're not putting 6 pounds of shit in a 3-pound bag of like having to go play, spring football. Yeah, you had some injuries after your rookie year, but you actually got to be able to rest and do an appropriate program, progress for a long time to then set yourself up for success to go to OTAs. I was like, and it's literally that rest and process that you did while also building your farm and doing work on your farm that allowed you to have that. Plus, he's a grimy dude, and it was great. And it was great to work out with him. We had an absolute blast. Going back to the governor's mansion. So it's 95 degrees in Florida. I'm on an airplane. I flew up today specifically for this event because I love Tress. And then he gave me a hard time because I didn't answer a Zoom call. I was like, Coach, you got to like give me a notification. You just can't call me on a Zoom call with a different number that I don't know. I'm not going to answer it. Plus, I think I was on the cruise ship when it happened. And I was like, I apologize. I always answer your call, Tress, because you will always answer mine. And that is a fact. But I wore that because it was 95 degrees. And when you move, I packed up all my pants. So it's like, I have no pants. I'm not going to buy any pants. And it's hot as crap in Florida. And they said business casual. So to me,
Come
business
on,
casual,
you're not going to justify business casual in shorts. There's no business.
I tucked my shirt in. I had the nice lever belt. So I kid you not, guys. I'm driving down Bexley. And I'm not going to lie, my truck, it rolls smoke. I did, rolls coal, whatever. I don't know, a little bit. I don't necessarily like it, but it does.
What do you mean rolls coal? What does that mean?
Well, I hit the accelerator and like black smoke comes out of my diesel. And it's kind of cool and hillbilly-ish. And I really love that. But I'm driving down Bexley in the 2500 Duramax. And I'm just seeing all of our guys that we played with or guys that I coached. I'm like, what's up, bro? I'm honking at them. I'm seeing Simon Frazier in like a tie. I'm like, dude, that's so business professional, right? Or even formal. And then I'm seeing like, oh, a sport coat. Oh, they all got pants on. Praise God for D. Wash. He came from Houston. Same concept, man. He had a shirt on with some shorts. I wasn't the only one. I could at least have somebody with me, and it was D. Wash. So anyways, I wore that one because it's the only kind of nice clothes that I have available. And two, it's hot. And they told me, I asked them this. I'll go back to the text message. I asked them, I was like, hey, so golf attire, shorts, polo, is that acceptable? They told me yes. So I went off of that as to why I was going there. Anyways, it was, I tell you what, I really appreciate it. In my comment, Bob, for all the people out there that have always accused me of not being able to read the room, everybody, I read the room.
Who are those people? Is that your wife? Because
no, there's been a lot of people, but I read the room. Bob, you had a great question. I want to go into your question later, but everybody was like, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Coach Tress. Honestly, that's a hard statement in and of itself. Like, do you still call him Coach Tress because he is Coach Tress to us, or do you call him Lieutenant Governor Coach Tress? All right, but anyways, I was like, hey, Fran. So Fran, Governor DeWine's wife, she made us these Buckeye cookies. She baked them all. Yeah. I'm like, dude, man, boom. And like during COVID, she was baking them for all the volunteers. And I was sitting back there. I had one. And I'm like, everybody's just thanking these men. And I got Ellen and Fran over here. And let me tell you guys, like, I've drugged my wife all over the country. Bob, you drug your wife all over the country playing football.
Did you say you drugged her all over the country or drug her?
Drug her.
Okay, I didn't know if like that was like a sedative.
No, listen, just like I put on last names, I would have put an S on the end for drugs.
I might have to get some of that hypnosis or roofies for court. That might be good.
So I was like, hey, first off, Fran, Ellen, thank you for supporting these men, right? Because listen, that job of service, whether it's public service, coaching, a business, like it's the person behind you that's there for all the venting and the hard convos, and it takes a lot. So I appreciate the cookies, and I appreciate them supporting them that serve us and the great state of Ohio. That was it. And the statement was, I actually reached out to Tress about a bill on a tax credit for gym memberships. And the senator happened to be out of Youngstown, gave me his contact. I called him up. We had good dialogue, agree and disagree on certain things of that as to what I think should be a tax credit and things that shouldn't. Again, I run a facility. So yeah, the more the merrier. However, I also know there's a lot of other things that go into quality of life, health and wellness that, in my opinion, should be a tax credit for people if we want to build up that healthy lifestyle, which also went back to you, Bob.
You are what you emphasize?
Well, you are what you emphasize, and you can't manage what you can't measure. And I kid you not, and it was funny because like there was also some of our former players that we played with and guys that I coached that now have quote unquote dad bods. And I'm like, hey, you know what? You should come see me because let's get some measurables here and figure it out why. And the number one thing that people always go to is, oh, I just got to start working out. And I'm telling you, that's great. Let's go do that. However, you can never underestimate the value of sleep and nutrition. And you can't out-train a bad diet. You've heard that all the time. But let me tell you guys something. Sleep is the number one thing. And I have proof of it. I train my face off. I do a DEXA scan every quarter at the Armory. In January, I didn't improve at all. Lean muscle mass was the same. Body fat was the same. I'm like, what is it? It's my diet and my sleep because I'm traveling and I sleep terrible. Did a sleep study with the Ohio Sleep Institute that we do at the Armory. Poof, David Copperfield. I had a low grade of sleep apnea. I was waking up anywhere between 19 to 25 times a night. I was snoring. My kids made fun of me. Like, Dad, I cannot be in the same room with you. So I was like turning into my father-in-law's friend, Howard, who like the thing was at deer camp, you had to go to bed before Howard. Howard, one, he's Canadian. And two, he snored like a freight train, just like that train that passed. Like that was Howard. So you had to go to bed before him. I was turning into Howard. But that's why I wasn't improving. It was my sleep. I literally got outfitted with these mouth guards that like put your jaw forward. Guys, listen, 4 more months, same style of training, still traveling all the time. Diet, 100% not locked in. Not. Lean muscle mass, up 3.5 pounds. Body fat, down 1.5%. All because of sleep. So again, there's a lot of things that go into it, which brought to Bob's question, which was awesome. And it was talking about emphasizing, gym back in schools, like get kids moving because not all kids are playing sports and the different things that he taught you. And also we're doing stuff with Trust, some pilot programs with some schools for a governor's fitness test. And I'm like, awesome. So again, this was kind of a reasoning, right? We're going to have other guys that are going to go grab schools. We're going to do a pilot program, encourage kids, do some stuff with kids, make it fun, incentivize them to go out there and work out, like move their bodies. That's great. Like, and that's honestly, I just went on a tangent. I apologize. All that to say, what a great evening. And then I want you to wrap it up, Bob, with your feeling of the closure of that meeting outside of Bijo trying to ask 35 questions to end it. Go into what happened at the end, because I saw you post it and it was beautiful. I got goosebumps when I was in there.
I will say this. Bijo did ask, Brandon Joe asked 2 questions. Everybody else got 1. He tried to get a third, and his third was pretty good because it was asking if Tress was going to run in however many days on whatever date, would he be on the governor's ballot? And he had done his research. He knew on this date would be 27 or whatever, will you be on the governor's ballot? And it was entertaining to say the least. Then at the end, Tress, as always, does a great job of like, let's get finished up the way. Doesn't answer the question. And so we got 2 renditions of Carmen, Ohio. And one of them was the first one by our guy, C. Grant, who we got a chance who played with us. And then Evan Blankenship, who I got a good chance to get to know while working at the Fan, because he's over there, works in sales for us. And he's also the lead singer in North of Nashville, but was absolutely amazing. And so we'll wrap this segment out here with the C. Grant. I think that's the first post. We had 2 dueling Trescos. We got 1 soul and 1 country. And it was pretty awesome because that kind of epitomizes the great part of our country and some of the great diversity that we have. And that's what a college football team is, and especially at Ohio State. Very diverse room from the state, from how you look, from where you're at, as I talked about earlier. And so here was C. Grant and Tress hyping him up for Carmen, Ohio.
Rendition of Carmen, Ohio. Okay, and then we'll have Evan give the second.
Hey, listen up real quick. It's been an honor and a privilege today, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and Buckeyes. I think Coach Tressel might be one of the only individuals who can pick that phone up. No matter what we have going on, we're going to come together. We hit on a lot of great topics today, talking about the youth, talking about mental health, talking about adopting schools, man. It's where it starts with the youth. We all have different things that we go through, man, but we're all Buckeyes. And like I said, man, what an honor and a privilege.
I think you were there at different times, weren't you? He was like the song.
Enjoy which death alone can still. Summer's heat or winter's cold. The seasons pass, the years will roll. Time and change will.
There's usually a lot more beer cans in the crowd. Love those cell phones.
That's great, though. But it's amazing the homage that Evan then gave to C, because Evan said, he's like, I've watched this a million times, and getting a chance then to do it on his own following C Grant was pretty darn special. And I think he realized that and everything that had gone on. So it was, go ahead, Schleiss. You want one more point?
No. You know, and somebody like C Grant's one of my favorite follows, and he's unhinged. And C and I had a great dialogue. And like, we all have different gifts, and I've always been an energy giver, but I'm also one that I've had a lot of life experiences that can resonate with a lot of different people. And C wants, like, he knows he has some battles, right? And he wants to open up and talk to people about them, and he does. Like, and like, it is all over the place. But that is real. That is real. And I sometimes I think, and I go back, man, and you guys got to remember, I came from a background where I had mental health issues in my family. And back in the day, it was so taboo that it was kind of deemed as like weak, or you didn't know. And guess what? They still don't know. And it still pisses me off that they don't know. But it's real in and of itself. And you got to love people through it. Now, and he and I were talking about it. I was like, man, listen, if you ever want to call me, if you need somebody, and I told you this too, Bob, just the other day, like, moving back, you got to get some people that are your mat carriers. You know what I mean? Like, that are going to carry the corner of the mat. I always go back to that story in the Bible about the paraplegic, like people digging through a roof to get you exactly what you need. And that was Jesus. Like, you need people, you need foxhole buddies, right? And that's kind of what that room is, regardless of when they played, who they played. We all played for Tress, but like, we know what we all struggle with, and you need to be able to have those type of guys. And like, guess what? Call me. I know you've been there for Dustin, and look at where Dustin is, right? You celebrated his marriage. Like, that's relationships. And there's another one in there too. Trust is so good. There is a DEI question in there. Trust is so good at articulating certain points. And my only point about that is, I wish that there was a way that everybody could be able to replicate and feel what we feel in a locker room, and the difference. You just saw Adams right there alongside, like, who's he next to? Like just these bunch of different guys. I'm sitting talking to Mike Adams and Shugart, and then Sweat, and like.
By the way, Mike Adams and JB Shugarts hanging out together look like two dudes in a Halloween costume. Like Halloween. The fact that they're best friends, and Mike's got the long dreads now. They're both skinny, and then JB's got the curled mustache.
Yes, it's awesome. And like, that's the beauty of the locker room, man. I wish I could just replicate it and everybody could see it. And like, that's the beauty of it. So anyway, sorry, tangent. It was a great evening, man. What a great evening.
It was a lot of fun. I told Tress, I go, the only part about it is, I go, it was 2 hours. It could have been 4. I was like, we needed 2 more to get everything out. But it was good. There's a lot of great questions. Hopefully we'll get our, everybody will help push the state forward in a positive direction. And Tress is the guy to lead the charge. Coming up next, talk a little bit about one of Tress's former players and one of the great things that's about college football. Yesterday, I got a chance to talk to Bill Bender about college football rivalries and the importance of those and why they matter so much, and what ones are more important than others. And he had their rankings list. Go check it out on Sporting News. But the reality too of maybe some of those might be disappearing. And one of our former teammates talked to Joel Cloud about that. So we'll dive into that next. But parents and athletes, protect what matters most with Export mouthguards, trusted by professional athletes and designed by NHL team dentists. Export mouthguards are scientifically tested to help protect both your teeth and your brain. Export mouthguards feature 3 layers of advanced protection, including a patented use of carbon fiber, which means more protection, better performance, max comfort, and clear communication. So you can focus on your game, not on your gear. Do not take chances with your safety. Visit exportguards.com/Bobby today and save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. More of the Bobby Carpenter Show coming up next.
Create it, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
Oh boy. And listen, if you're watching here, there's a Twitter poll out there at Bobby Carpenter Show.
31%.
So it's only going to keep trending worse. So pull that down, Pat. I mean, nowhere in the world is business casual involved. I don't care if there's some sort of Dolce and Gabbana or Monty shorts, whatever it is.
There were nice shorts, man.
No one
I
is
wear
debating
Roan. I like Roan because I get a discount there. But I had a Roan polo. Okay.
Polo.
I had a Roan polo and I had Roan shorts. And I even spiced it up. I was going to wear flip-flops, my nice ones. I have a nice pair of flip-flops.
Nice
I was going to
ones.
wear, I do like they're kind of leathery,
Going to
you know,
some
black.
sort of beach club in Miami?
I'm coming from Florida, but it's business casual. I mean, they told me it was going to kind of be outside. That's why I wore it. And I'm going to tell you this.
Well, I will
I'm
say
going to tell you
this.
this. I'm
It
going to tell you
was
this. It was hot in there. It was hot in there. You know
It
who
was.
wasn't sweating?
You know who took their coat off? Me. And I had my poncho shirt on underneath and helped keep me cool. So I felt pretty good about that. Got a little linen coat on. But Marcus Freeman sat down with Joel Klatt. And we talked with Bill Bender about this. Just the different rivalries, what ones are protected, what ones aren't, the loss of some of these given the conference realignment. And he was talking with Joel Klatt about the USC game. And I don't want that thing to go away. I think it needs to be there forever. And Marcus, I thought, had some pretty important points as he brought up and was talking about that. If you want to throw that up, Pat, we can take a look and listen at what Marcus Freeman was saying about this. We get some sound on that, big dog.
There's memories I have in my head of great plays in the USC Notre Dame rivalry. And I think it's important to continue that rivalry. And so if they ask my opinion, I want to continuously play USC every year, you know, and it takes both parties to tangle, right? And it's got to fit both institutions. And, you know, they're in a conference, we're not. When do we play? All those different things. But I think it's important that we continue to have this rivalry.
It's important because it matters to people. And that's what makes college football great, Schlags, is the connectivity, the memories, and how iconic it is. It's obviously Notre Dame wants to do it and understand they're in a conference, and maybe should Notre Dame go to a conference. And at some point, maybe this week, we'll talk about the importance of being in a conference versus maybe it's better to be independent now. I don't know. Let's kind of figure that out, especially in this NIL world and sharing dollars with everybody else. If you're one of the big schools and the big conferences, why should you share your money with other people? And is that important? It's important to be in a conference. So we can talk a little bit about that maybe later, but kind of your thoughts of just Marcus leaning in really and trying to promote that rivalry. And is it important to continue to play that game in your mind?
No. I like the rivalry. Join the Big Ten, and then you could have it every swinging year. I mean, that's a simple thing. Like, and here's the thing: they're independent. And can more teams go independent? The answer is no, because there's only a handful of brands that could validate. Ohio State is one of them. Notre Dame is one of them that could validate the ability to negotiate their own contracts because how it moves the needle in the markets. But they're dabbling in the ACC as quote unquote their conference games. So would USC want to give? Now, again, this goes back to look at what Ohio State is doing. They got a home and away with Georgia. They got a home and away with Alabama, right? Hey, Notre Dame, make this your home and away every single year with USC. USC, do you want that? Considering the fact that you just got obliterated last year in the Big Ten? I don't know. You know, are we going to go to 10 conference games and then only have 2? Do you really want that? We stay at 9 and you get 3. Do you just want to make that the game all the time? How does it fit in the schedule that Notre Dame has with the ACC? Those are all the things that you're looking at. I don't think more teams will go independent because they can't validate it, but I would like to see it continue. I think the color, like, they're just iconic venues. They're iconic schools. They're iconic color clashes. And it's just, we remember those type of games growing up watching Notre Dame football. Would love to see it.
So that's the thing. It's like the uniforms matter. They look good out there. They look really good. And against each other, they're 2 iconic brands. You look at the national champions, the Heisman Trophy winners, all of those different metrics, like they've been there. And like USC's always been in the Pac-12. It was the Pac-8, the Pac-10, Pac-12. They were always a part of it. Notre Dame has always been independent. And you're right, Schleiks. There probably are Texas, Bama, Georgia. I bet there's Michigan. There's probably 8 to 12 schools that could go independent and be as successful or close to it now as Notre Dame, just based upon their geographic pull and how national they are as a fan base and what they have in their immediate surroundings. So I think there are some that could do that. Is that better for college football? Probably not. Is it better for the conferences? No. Like I want to see, but I also want to see people play. I want to see these games happen. And that's what all this stuff worries me, is that now like we're talking about 12, 16-team playoff. Well, why should I play these other teams if it's just I'm going to risk losing a game? And so I don't want, like, that to me is trash. It's Garbaggio, as you like to say, Schleiks. Yeah. And I want to see that game because to me it means something.
Yeah,
it doesn't
I agree.
mean
I agree.
And that's the thing. Like there's no difference. Like Nebraska and Oklahoma, like that game should go on. If you want to make that each year your big non-conference game, that's fine. It's like Iowa and Iowa State, Miami and Florida State are in conference now. But you want to play Florida State, Florida, great. That's your big non. I'm fine with that. But like keep those things alive because they're fun for us to watch.
Well, and they still matter because USC's in the Big Ten. Like you got to win your games. Like you need it. And again, scheduling difficult non-conferences, looking at whatever system they come up with, whether it's the 4-4-2-1-3, 4-4-2-2-1-3, whatever that is, or the 5-11, whatever the case may be, and then seating accordingly. Like if that's your one loss and they're really good, you're getting in. Strength of schedule does matter still. So why not? Again, it's going back to, does USC, does Notre Dame, do they want to continue it and make it their big time game?
Yeah. I mean, and Notre Dame clearly does, but does USC. And they've got the 9th conference game, and I get it. The coaches in the Big Ten voted to do a Big Ten SEC like challenge, but they also wanted to keep 9 conference games. The coaches in the SEC voted, and they did not want to have that 9th conference game, and they did not want to play the Big Ten. So I get that. I understand it. It's a little bit rough at times, but that's kind of where we're at right now as we're kind of looking through this and trying to figure it out. There was a Mount Rushmore of coaching that I saw thrown up, and we're going to talk about who should be on that, who the best coaches, the Mount Rushmore of college football. How many Buckeye coaches should be on there? Let's find out here next on the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show. And Schleicher, I saw this come across the screen. The Mount Rushmore of college coaching. Let's toss that up there, Pat, when we get a chance. And when you see that, you've got Nick Saban, you've got Bear Bryant, you've got Urban Meyer and Pete Carroll. Any changes you would make to that?
Man, Woody Hayes won 5 national championships.
Okay. At least you were quick on the draw. As much as I love Pete Carroll, Woody Hayes, the longevity that he had squashes Pete. Now, people might be upset about that because they're like, well, it's 2 guys who are known a lot for Ohio State. Woody exclusively, and then Urban spent about half his
I
time.
wouldn't even put Urban up there.
He has
I don't-
3. Who else would you put?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's what I'm asking you.
Well,
If
I
you're
mean,
taking
like,
someone down,
could
you gotta
you,
put someone up.
could you, well, I mean, yeah, he has 3, but like, is it just the national championships? Is this exclusive to Division One?
Let's,
I know there's
just
right?
make it simple. Let's keep it exclusive to Division One.
Well, let's go through the ones that could potentially be up there. Obviously, Nick Saban, Paul Bryant, like the Bear, obviously, Woody, 100%.
How much is Bear Bryant though? Like ahead of Woody in your mind? Like I don't see a big difference or huge separation between those two.
No, even, but 6 and 5 national championships. But I mean, again, I think they did a lot for the sport. So I kind of think those 3 are up there. And again, it goes back to the longevity that they had. Nick Saban, with the 7 multiple schools, obviously the best. There's other guys that have won it way back in the day that have 4 national championships. Could you put them up there? I hit the Google machine, guys, and it's the AI mode. I don't even know what that is.
This is before. It's okay. So let's put some qualifiers on this then.
Okay. Well, Bobby Bowden's won. He's won 2.
Okay, so
He was
let's
at Florida State.
say since post World War II, because that keeps in Woody and Bear Bryant and everybody, but it eliminates some of the stuff from way back in the day. So let's say post World War II, like 50 and on. Who we got? And so you brought up Bobby Bowden, who coached at Florida State for a long time. Was at West Virginia briefly before that. And won 2 national titles. Okay, continue.
Well, who else? I mean,
Well, I will say this about Bobby Bowden too. They had a streak where they finished like 11 straight years in the top 5.
yeah.
Like as far as consistency for a decade in the 90s, Florida State was it.
Well, if you go back and like, I'm gonna bring up another guy, Tressel. Did he win 4 national championships at Youngstown?
Yes. Played for 6, won 4.
Played for 6, won 4, and then he played in 3 and won 1. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep. In Division One.
So 2, 6, and 7.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, but you got to win them, right? Urban has obviously won 3. Could have had a 4th in 12. Had probably multiple teams. That 15 team was loaded. 19 had a chance.
Yep.
So you have obviously he's there. How many does Pete Carroll have? 2? He has 2.
It was like 1.5. The one year they gave part of it to them, but Oklahoma won it. Or no, lost it. And then was that the Auburn year, 2003? I want to say. I think that's what it was.
He brought up here's another one, and this was from our producer Pat. Tom Osborne.
It's a really good call.
3 that's a good call. And I wasn't even thinking about the Big Red Machine because again, like strength conditioning, human performance really started at Nebraska. Those 90s teams, and he was there for a long time too, Bob. Like, where is he in that mix? So I think like, does it have to be only 4 guys? I don't know, but he's one.
Well, that's the purpose of the Mount Rushmore is it forces you to get to 4, and that's why we were having
Make their heads smaller. Make their heads proportionate to the national championships that they won. Saban obviously has the bigger head. Then you go work your way down, and then you squeeze a couple in that have 2 or 3. They just got smaller heads.
Yeah, so it was in 2003. USC beat Oklahoma, maybe, or no, LSU beat Oklahoma, and they said USC got a piece of it in 2003.
Yeah,
is what that was. So I get it. And that was during the BCS. I think Pete Carroll was good, but I couldn't put him up there. The Tom Osborne is someone that's in big time consideration.
Hey,
Right there with Urban.
I just want to tell everybody that's on the YouTube machine, you said before World War II, because one of the greatest movies that I remember watching growing up was Newt Rockney. And it was like the Newt Rockney story. And you went through
We're gonna get him on.
before-
We're gonna keep it on. We're gonna go.
and you got the four horsemen and the nostalgia that's there. But just everybody, Bob said, post World War II. That's why. But again, if it was just all time college football, New Rockney would have to be in there. So, anyways,
All right. I was just curious. So give me your 4. 1950 on.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know who my third is. I would have you know what? I would probably have Saban, Bear Bryant,
Okay.
Woody Hayes,
Okay. It's 3.
and I probably would have Tom Osborne.
Okay.
The option looked so good back in the day, bro.
It did. They were one of the most dominant teams. I might give the nod there, and he might be getting overlooked because of his age, but he did something in Nebraska without any indigenous talent that was very, very impressive. So I thought that was a heck of a job. I'll put Tom Osborne in there as well. I like where your head's at, Schlegs. That was a good poll by Pat with everything right there as well. Before we get out of here, I want to tell you about our friend Schlegs over at Backer. That's bckr.com. Premium Buckeye jackets, premium Buckeye hats. They're the quality you want. They've got a premium price to them because of how great they are. But the rain jackets are going to keep you dry. The cold gear feels incredibly good. And then also they've got the sweet hats and some other stuff around there. They've got all
Bucket
the
hats.
pieces you want they've got bucket hats that are on the way that they're working on as well. And then they said they're going to start beta testing, hopefully some fitted stretch caps. They've got the windbreaker's got UV protection. It's got everything you want. So go check it out. It's bckr.com. And then also when you use promo code Bobby, all caps, BOBBY, at checkout, you get free expedited shipping. Again, that's Backer, bckr.com. Go check them out.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
Welcome back into the program. If you're watching online, please like, subscribe, leave your comments, questions, everything there that you want. We love to have it. And our headlines are brought to you by our friends over at Lake Spur. Lake Spur Marketing, full service ad agency built on trust, on strategy, on performance. They shield your team from all the unwanted nonsense, the outside noise, the cold callers, and let you do what you do best, which is run your business. They have the experience you need. Over 100 combined years of marketing experience. Lake Spur Marketing eliminates waste and delivers on budget. They don't chase clicks. They build partnerships. Lake Spur Marketing, the proof is in the partners. And now it's time for some of our headlines as we can continue to look through those. And this is a little bit crazy. It's a little bit wild, Schlegs, but there's an HBO doc that is coming out. It came out last night, I think at midnight or late night. I'm going to probably watch it. It's the Dr. Strauss documentary on everything that happened at Ohio State, through the 80s and how Ohio State handled it. And I haven't seen it yet, so I don't want to comment too heavily on it. Obviously, a lot of allegations, a lot of things going on. You probably didn't get a chance to watch that. Are you going to watch it here coming up?
Well, you brought it up. You put in the show sheet, so I'm gonna have to put it on. What just happens? Is it on? What's it on? HBO, Netflix, Google,
I don't know
Amazon?
if it's on HBO Max or if it's HBO.
I just got to get another subscription.
It's HBO. It says right there. I think it is on HBO.
Dang.
Maybe on Netflix. Maybe I could share it with you, Schlegs, and we'll figure it out. But obviously, a lot of stuff going on.
I'll find it.
Of course you will. You always find all of the illicit stuff. And then also this. So Jeremiah Smith, he's got a younger brother, Schlegs. And he is getting to the point he plays defensive back. and they apparently have offered him at Ohio State. Angelo Smith, extremely blessed to earn an offer from the Ohio State University. I'm not sure if this was at camp or when this ultimately happened. I love the comments. They're great, but he's not the biggest dude. He's not as tall as his brother. He's only 5'10", but he's super aggressive. He moves well, runs well, and pretty excited. If you want to scroll over, Pat, you can see some of his highlights and all the jazz and smoke that he's bringing. Your thoughts, Shalane?
I'm excited for this. One, it's cool that your brother obviously is who he is, but you are in and of yourself a really good player. You wouldn't be getting offered from Ohio State if you were not. Obviously, the relationship with Walt and G and Matty P. I just love how I use all their abbreviations. Like, he knows what this place is about, and I'm excited for the young man. And again, what's crazy is like just how young these dudes are. There was a kid over here at the Armory the other day, and I swore he was like
young dudes.
Yeah, well, he's. I just found out like, hey, how old is Jack? He's 15. How tall is he?
6'4".
He's like 6'4". What is he? Like 240?
Just a puppy.
He's 6'4", 240, and he's 15 years old. And he like.
Is that Dr. Strauss you're talking to back there?
No, that's Jay. That's Jay Hooten. Anyways, it was just so funny because I'm having a conversation with him the other day, and he's just like a puppy, and but he's all about it, and that's the cool thing about these. I'm going to go back though. So one, I'm super excited for this to happen. Anyways, Angelo, Buckeyes, baby.
Buckeyes.
The thing that I have a hard time with, guys, is these camps, and I have a hard, I think Ohio State does a great job. It's why we asked about like Berm the other day about how hard they coach these kids at these camps and how important that is. Because we're talking about Witten. He's a linebacker. Love the way that James coach gave him some really good nuggets. Like, can I play for a guy like that? Like, that's why you go to him. But not everybody's going to go to Ohio State. Not everybody can go to a Notre Dame. But these kids go to like 8 camps. I don't ever want to take this. If you're like, not all these kids are going to every single one of these camps. Select the camps you want to go to, but always remember this. The number one thing that matters is how you play on Friday. And if all you're doing is going to camps, then you ain't training because you're basically just training for 8 different combines throughout the summer.
Oh.
And that's not how you're going to get better playing football. You get better at playing football by making sure that your body is as strong and healthy as it is going into your season.
When I would go to those camps, I would go say, listen, I'm going to go lift. And then I'd go lift weights in there, and then I'd go work out. Buckeyes. So like I'm here. This is like a post-practice thing for me, and I'm going to get my 50-minute lift in. I'm going to feel strong and good, and like let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
So that's life of being a dude.
And that's what you got to do, Bob. Like you got to train through this process.
Yeah.
And it's just they just go and they go and they go. I'm just like, dude, like just lift. I mean, it goes back to what I talked about with Cade. Like you need a summer to get your body right for a season. And guess what? You can go to all these camps and look good in shorts, but they want to see what you do on Friday, man.
Yeah. You got to go play football. All right. That's it for headlines. We got our tailgate talk brought to you by Real Truck coming up next. All right, welcome back in to our tailgate talk brought to you by our friends at Real Truck. We answer your questions. And Pat, they're hammering us here from yesterday. Said, why is there no chat replay? You need to hire a competent producer. They're coming at you, Pat.
What's chat replay? What's that? Chat GTP?
No, like the chat, like so you can see it when you're rewatching the show. So they've mentioned it a few times.
You can see the people in the chat. So if I went back and watched yesterday's show, I can't watch everybody on the chat and all the comments they were making?
Apparently not. That's what we're hearing. I don't know how to fix
what
that.
What the Sam Dickens, Pat? You throw up Tom Osborne and what other nugget you gave us? That was great. You're adding value, but we can't get the chat simulcast. That's where the special sauce is, everybody that's out there. We appreciate you.
Yes. It's amazing.
Devin Sanchez is looking big, Bob. Yes, he is.
Is he? Is that a thing? When did you see Devin?
No, I saw it right here on the Doomajig on the chat. No, I saw Devin when I went in. I was in there the other day with some striking machine stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
He
good.
looks good. He looks good. And that's the thing, guys. Like, you guys got to remember, when you go through the season like they did, and you get done January 20th, and then you have to throw guys into a full-fledged 7-week just, oh, man, like hardcore training to get their body prepped for another spring football. And again, meritocracy guys playing. And then they get May. And May is the end of April, and May is kind of like discretionary. It's about 4 or 5 weeks that they get. They're still training through it, but they just get to go be a dude and hang out for a little bit. Then that phase 1 of summer kicks in for like 6 weeks, and you have your 4th of July week off, and then you got 3 weeks and you go to camp. Like, that's what they're doing. They actually had time to like recover and eat and do all these things. That's why they look really good right now. So anyway, I just want to throw that out there. But yes, he's an extremely hard worker, very gifted, going to be a hell of a player.
Looking good, Schlags. Looking good for sure. All right, coming up next,
You don't want more questions?
Well,
there was a really good one. Why is there time? If I'm going to do a solo show, do I have to have time?
Yeah, you're supposed to. This is
can
the
just cut
problem
me
with
off.
it's exhausting. As much as I enjoy doing the show with you, it is exhausting chasing you around the yard, trying to get you to comply. You're a non-compliance guy. I need a better compliance officer. We wrap up our show, Schlags, with our parting thoughts and the results of our poll. Is a golf shirt and shorts acceptable business casual attire? Well, we've got another 23 hours, but the early results aren't looking promising for our boy. Find out what that is next on the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, final segment here as we wrap up the program. And exactly how it's worded. Our guy Schlegel Valley wore shorts to the Ohio governor's mansion to meet with Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel and Mike DeWine, the governor, as well. Is a golf shirt and shorts acceptable business casual attire? Right now, Schlags, about 170 votes. It's early on. We got another 23 hours, so maybe it'll be a late night swing for you. But 38% are saying yes. 62% are saying no. And even one person underneath there, the comment from Aaron, if he was going to Coach Tressel's house, that's one thing. But going to the governor's mansion house, I'd imagine you might want to button it up a little bit.
You know what? In the world where everybody wants to work from home, you would think that they would have changed, Bob.
Listen, do as I say, Schlags, not as I do.
That's terrible. Hey, guess what? I don't want to go into the office. I just want to work in my PJs. But Papa Schlags can't go to somebody's house wearing a polo and some shorts. And I tucked it in. And I had the lever belt. Those belts are expensive. And I wore the fancy shoes, with like the no socks. Yeah, I put those on. I spiced it up.
Oh, you're killing me. The justifiable nature of it. I love it. Schlags, all right, you're going to run the show tomorrow. AJ's going to be here. I'm going to let you coordinate with him, figure it all out. Oh, my
gosh. Yeah.
It's going to be great. So, folks, it might be a beautiful thing. I'm going to be streaming the golf course. The coach's outing is tomorrow, so you got Schlags all day long. Stay locked in on the Bobby Carpenter Show.